Hi everyone, welcome back. This time we're gonna do a bit of a guide on how to program your controller in FS 2020, especially for A32NX from fly-by-wire sim. I'm gonna do several videos starting from FCU panel here and EFIS. Then start moving downward, upward into another panels. Okay, so let's start. So basically I'm using, as you can see here, I'm using Spadnext as the main controller programming. So basically the setting in FS 2020 I already deleted, so nothing in FS 2020 being set in the controller setting. So basically I delete all the setting already and move everything into Spadnext. So I can control A32NX from my controller. For this example, I'm using my DIY FCU and EFIS panel. So in half of it, below there is a Trustmaster Cougar and everything. So this one is actually controlling this part of the panel. Okay, so it's duplicating it directly. But for example, the lighting, the light controller here, and the ECAM lower ECAM buttons, I put it in this Cougar. So it's not a representation of one-on-one representation of the A32NX. So it's kind of a mix today. I'm planning to build my full A320 cockpit, but I think I'm gonna wait until either Phoenix or fly-by-wire sim has already completed most of the buttons configuration, at least for normal flight. So today I managed to program everything in the cockpit, mostly, not every buttons, but mostly most button that is being used for normal flights. Okay, so from this FCU, this button here, and for example this MAC2 here, some of the button here, and of course this one and that one pedestal, and also some of the important overhead like fuel. I think you can see in my video later on how I set up the or use it in the normal flight. So you can see other video that I've done which shows how I use it in the flight. Okay, so but this time I'm going to show you how I program it in the Spadnext. Okay, without further ado, let's start the guide. So here I'm starting from this panel here. I'm replicating this one. So starting from speed, so you can see I changed the speed here up and down. So here is this head switch from MMJoy, so I'm using MMJoy. So here you can see the north is decrease, the east is increase. So basically I just using this command, the event actually. Basically you set the event. Here is add action and event, send simulation event, and then basically you can select the event which one that you want to use. In this case is A32NX FCU speed increase. Okay, so basically okay and okay. So this will, when you press this east button head switch, I program it MMJoy. Don't worry about it, you can do a normal button 32 or this one. So basically this one is head switch east becoming up increase, and north head switch lower. Okay, so that's simple setting. You can actually set the parameter. I think let's say this one increased by 10. Oh, not here. Yep, not in this speed, unfortunately. But for this one, I was thinking for heading. I think if I set here, yeah. So there's a parameters. For speed, unfortunately, is no parameters, so it's only increasing 1. And I haven't been able directly to manipulate the LFAR, the long variable from SimFAR. So this is just using the event. Oh, by the way, before that, I forgot to mention, for a detailed guide for Spadnext, you have to go to Les O'Reilly YouTube channel. He's been very comprehensive in covering all the aspect of Spadnext. So I'm learning from him a lot. So you have to go to Les O'Reilly YouTube channel. The link is down below in the description. Okay. So let me continue. So the second heading. So heading is very simple also. As I mentioned, this one is heading. So you can see I'm rotating west and south head switch. So here is the west is decrease, increase is south. So basically same thing. You add event and select this A32NX FCU heading increase, but this time you can if you want to increase by 1 or by hundreds, but I choose to by 10. Basically that's by 10 because this one is 250. Yep, so this one is 2.5, heading 2.5, and I don't know, but I think it should be okay. By 10, it's becoming by 1 here. If it's only 1, I think it's going to be decimal. Okay, so should be fine here. Parameters, you can play around if you want to speed up the heading by doing some logic, but in this case I don't use that. Okay, this one is heading. What else? I think that's one. Next is altimeters. Altimeters is very simple also. I'm using here on these two buttons. Decrease is so basically I have two knobs here. So this one is using dual shaft encoder. So this one is single shaft encoder switch. This one is dual shaft, meaning that there's the outer encoder and the inner encoder. So the inner encoder, this one with the this flower kind of knobs. Here is 1 and 2, so it's decreasing by 100. So basically you can see increasing by 100 here, but the outer knobs or outer encoders, if I turn this one, that will be 3 and 4, and you can see it increasing by 1000. So I can set the same command, the same event command. So basically the same FCU alt increase, this one also FCU alt increase, but this one is at 1000, this one at 100, this one decreased by 100, this one decreased by 1000. So basically I can program it the inner and outer encoder here. The last one is basically vertical speeds. So here the dash meaning it's managed, but if I push this one once, it will be in selected speed, selected mode. Okay, so here so here I'm in the selected mode, so 00. So I push once here, so you can see here it's number 16, so it's on and off. Push pull event. So yeah, so that is something that I'm using this one to select, or if you push again, I think it's basically it's becoming level, right? So here same thing here, 6 and 5. I'm using A32NX FCU vertical speed decrease by 100, as you can see, and the 6 is increased by 100. Okay, so increase by 100, decrease by 100, and you can also push for level. So that's it. Yeah, this is for vertical speed. So during flight it's very handy if you want to manage the descents or selected the descent vertical speed. Then you just push first and then you select the vertical speed that you want to. Okay, on this panel also I can press this one. It's a push and it's a push button basically. So you can see here it's 19, so it's become Mach, and this is the command toggle, and push again becomes speed knots again. Okay, and this one is heading track and FPA, or the bird. So basically this track FPA, and press again heading mode again, okay, vertical speed. Okay, so this one here you change into angle of I think this is in angle, right? 3 degree path angle. Okay, let's say you want a 3 degree. This is usually very useful when you're doing RNAV approach. So you set sorry, not plus but minus 3 degree or descent by 3 degree. Then it will follow the flight path angle of 3 degree, for example. Or sometimes it's in the chart, it's being set for 2.7 degree, then you can follow the flight path angle as you require. So the plane, the aircraft will descend with this angle, right, in flight path angle. Okay, so usually this one is for normal descent and ascent. Okay, this one I think it's during flight we can change this one, but not in the static or on the ground. AP1, here you can just send a command here, send A32NX AP1 push. So it's an event also, not a direct change on the variable, so it's an event. So basically there is two type, which is change data value, so directly changing the sim variable, or you send an event. Event is like a macro basically, so it's been built to do something, you know, several steps, for example. But you can do this yourself by doing several commands here to change the data value, so it's becoming like an event, right? So that's how you do it. But in this case, if it's already the event already available, it's very convenient to just do an event rather than create your own kind of macro. Okay, that's my naming anyway, so don't worry about it. AP1, AP2 is also send NX AP2 push, so it's an event also. Thrust also, auto thrust is A3 FCU auto thrust push. So it's you cannot here in the on the ground, not yet started, and the engine, you cannot do that. And then the localizer also the same here, the event also A32NX FCU localizer push, and X speed also the same. It's actually A32NX FCU X speed push event, and then approach button here, it's also the same, A32NX FCU approach push event. So after sim update 7, this one's still working fine, no problem. Okay, so you can really kind of replicate that directly into this sim from here, okay, using Spadnext. You can use any controllers, like I think not keyboard though, keyboard is a bit finicky right now in Spadnext, but you can use any, like what do you call it, MIDI controller, for example, or whatever macro keyboard, a specialized keyboard, for example, or any push button you have from the MIDI controller, or what else, anything as a controller, or HID controller or joystick controller, you can program this into this button. Okay, or you can use your Honeycomb Bravo. I have Honeycomb Bravo, but for other function. Okay, this one is for the FCU. Now we move to the EFIS, left EFIS. So left EFIS is here, left FD MMJoy. I'm using MMJoy2 controller here, but different controller. So here we start from the simple one, which is the FD. So FD, I'm programming using send AS1000 MFD flight directors. I don't know why, but I think that's the only one. I forgot. There's no A3NX or 2NX or A320 or whatever. So this one is working. So if you can see, I'm pushing this button on and off. Basically it's a push button, it's toggle push button. in a real aircraft is using a special function switches, right? And the next one is LS, same thing. LS is here is just A320neo PFD button LS1. LS2 is actually this one, LS2 and FD2, but this one is LS1. Okay, so that is for LS and FD. What else? The other one is this one, the barometers. So let me turn barometers going down, you see, and going up here, this one. So I'm using the Coleman increase and decrease here, north and east. So this one is going down. For changing the inches and hectopascal, because this I'm using a single shaft, I didn't use any dual shaft here. It's very expensive here. I think it's $24 each a piece, so quite expensive. So I'm using just a single shaft, so I glue this one. So how to change this one? I programmed this key into my honeycomb Bravo. So if you can see here, it's becoming inches and hectopascal if I flick the switch in honeycomb Bravo. So I'll show it later on in the honeycomb Bravo. Well, I can show it here actually. The honeycomb Bravo here is 42 and 43. If you can see here, 42 selector HPA to 1, and 42 and 43 HPA 1 lever to 1. This one to 0. So basically this one 0 is, I forgot which this one is in okay, so this one is the 1 is actually hectopascal, the 0 actually inches here, mercury. Okay, so inches mercury is actually in 0, the hectopascal, this variable, so this variable, this one is variable, not even. So this one is data value, so this one is variable. So L var actually, I think long variable. You have to set this one to 1 here to make it hectopascal. But if you put to 0 this variable, it will set this one to inches mercury. Okay, so that is how I set the this one, the inches HPA, using my honeycomb Bravo. Let's go back into another setting in this area. So another one actually after this one is the standard push. So if I push this button once like this, it will be going standard, and push again back to setting, push again to standard. So the command is this one. So this one I use a bit of a trick, means that if I press like this, if it's pressed, it's going, it's being pressed, check this one. So if it's 1 then 3, okay, winning standard. Or if it's button release, so just separate this one into a button release. This one is on the press and this one is on the release, just to differentiate the process. So this one is first, this one is second, so it won't like doing it at the same time. Well, just a trick. Basically you can do this by setting this one if you don't want to double check. So because if you don't activate the end processing, once they check this one and they set it accordingly, and they go to the second one and they check it's already set, and then going back into the first one again, right? So it's a loop. So it's gonna never happen. It's not going to happen, the setting this one. So to differentiate, let's first check this one, and during press, because it's already different, and then check it. I think it's already working, so fine today at this moment. Or you do this by activating the end processing. So basically once you check this one, end process, and you don't have to check another one. So but if you don't use the end process, they will check the following command, and then suddenly they set the back into the normal again. Well, unfortunately this is just a trick. So I think 1 is I forget, 1 is the standard or 1 is this one. I think 1 is this one, 3 is the standard. Okay, that's for this standard switch. Basically it's working. What else? Then okay, so this one, this switch is basically a simple, for me this one is a head switch, so it's a push button, not a 3 position switch or on off on. So I don't have the 3 switch or 3 position switch, which were expensive at the time. I managed to create a very cheap 3 position switch using the NAND logic gate. I'll show you later on the circuit. It will save a lot of money and hassle on creating the 3 position on switch. So it's very expensive and very difficult to create mechanically. Okay, I've done mechanical kind of modifications, and it's unreliable to create on switch. Why on while this one is off? Because Sims only know where is the switch position, right? On here, or on here. Because if it's on here, it's ADF pressed. On here will be off status, and on here will be VOR. So it won't really be real off, you know, in the programming. So you need on switch. So to as I mentioned, I'll show you the circuit diagram for that one. Very simple and reliable one, electronically made, not mechanically made, on modification on creating on switch. But at this moment I'm using the push button actually. So this one is the push button, on off, on off, on off. So temporary momentary switch here on the head momentary head switch, sorry. So basically if I push to the left, so you can see it's on the ADF, push to the right is VOR, push down is off. Okay, so it's basically 3 position, actually 4. I don't activate the 4th one, push up. So it's actually a head switch here, push button. So how do I program it? It's very simple. 7 is just EFIS LNF8 mode 1, and then if it's on the right, mode 2, and 0 is mode 0. Okay, so basically this variable you can put 0, 1 and 2. 0 is off, 1 is ADF, 2 is VOR. So each time you push or switch on the specific positions, you can program it to 0, 1 and 2. So remember, this is 0, 1 and 2. Similar here, 0 and 1 and 2. So you can see if I put it left, here is 0, sorry, 1, and then down is off here, down, and then push left, right, sorry, is 2. So basically 1, sorry, 0 is center, 1 left, 2 right. Okay, so that's how I program this switch. So basically it's a EFIS left nav A2 mode. This one is 2, this one is 1, here is 1, and this one is 2. Yeah, so with 3 parameters basically, 0, 1 and 2. Okay, to choose the selections position, to choose the position of the selecting selection toggle switch. Okay, for this one it's actually a rotary switch, not an encoder, so rotary switch. So basically you can rotate this one. So if I rotate to the left here, here you see 19 is, you can set this variable. This is not event, so basically you set the variable or the LVAR to 0 here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one is 1, this one is 2, this one is 3. Okay, same here, and this one is 4. I actually use a 6 position button switches for 5 positions. So 2 position is for the arc. Just trying to kind of get away with trying to find the 5 position switch. I just have 6, so I make a double setting here for the arc, but this one is 5, you can see, sorry, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So 5 position switch, as you can see here. Onto this variable. So the parameter you can set 0 to 4, 5 positions. Okay, so each time you push, you can do this by push button also. If you push ls, for example, let's set this parameter to 0, push for VOR, then put into number 1 variable, parameter 1, and nav push button, for example, you can put into variable 2, right, and so on. So this one is for this rotary switch. Similarly, this one is 6 position, so it's correct. This one is this one. So range A32NX FCU LND range set to 0, meaning 10 miles, and then this one is 20 miles. Position 2, which is actually 40 miles. Position 3, 80 miles. Position 4, 160 miles, and position 5, 320 miles. Okay, range. So this one, how you set up this rotary switch by putting the parameters into this variable, the correct one. Okay, this initially an event previously. There's a available event in the A32NX or A320 API. I forgot, but that event no longer works, and I have to directly set into this variable. Okay. Similarly, so after SIM update 7, this 5 button here and this switches is no longer work using event. So you have to directly manipulate the variables like this one. Okay. So going to constraint, it's very simple. So constraint is number 3. You set constraint number 0 means everything off. Okay. 1 is for constraint on. Okay. 2 is for VORD on. 3, so as you can see here, 1 is 3. 2 is VORD button here, and 3 is waypoint here. Is you have to fill up this variable with parameter 3, and 4 NDB, and airport 5. Okay, here airport 4 and 5. Okay, for NDB. So 1, so 0 means everything off. 1 means constraint on. 2 means VORD on. 3 mean waypoint on. 4 meaning NDB on, and 5 airport on. And this switch cannot be on multiple. I mean, you only be able to switch one of it. So if you set to 5, definitely it's airport on, right? So if you put 1, it's constraint on. So just send a command, very simple. So you just command send sorry, not a command, basically you change the variable here into 1 here. Basically constraint will be on. If you set to 2, VORD will be on. 3, waypoint will be on. 4, NDB on, and 5, airport on. Basically that's how you set. Now how to set up, because constraint, if I push constraint again, it will be off, right? So for off, for on first, you put the yes button here just to ensure only select one, and that's it. No further processing, right? So if not, then they will switch it off again. It won't work. So just activate that yes, or this one, the end processing. And for off, basically it will check if it's 1 here. Just turn it off, or actually you don't need this one. You can just turn it off, because well, to me, just want to ensure, because I want to make a toggle switch, right, from this push button. This push button don't know is already on or off. If they don't know, so if they will just switch it on, right? But if they check if this variable contain 1, meaning that this one is already on, then just turn it off and complete processing. That's it, no more processing. So, and by the way, don't forget to put the priority here to 1. I don't know why, but if you don't put the priority for the off into 1, because I think you have to check the on first and then the off one. So it doesn't the other way around. It doesn't do the other way around, because basically you have to check the off to on first and then check on to off after that. Okay, this one is, as I mentioned, you can do it by press and release situation, button release or press short. So this one is press short. This one is press short because it's on to off to on, and this one has to be on the release. Actually, if you want to use that method, fine. But here the other method is using by end processing and priority to 1. Okay, that's I think end processing you don't need to. I think it's just priority is enough, if not mistaken. Anyway, I haven't played around with that, so just to ensure this one first check and then this one is second. On the off side, you have to check first if it's on and it's turned off. Okay, so just to ensure it's toggle back to the off positions. Okay, so that's how let's say if waypoint press or the number 3 press and one press again, it will check if it's already 3, the variable here. This one is already 3, then turn it off. So press it off. Okay, so that's how you program this 5 button here. Okay, so that's it. So I've done all the programming for this FCU and EFIS, left EFIS. I don't program this one because I'm on the pilot side anyway, and my panel is only replicating one side, not 2 sides. So I'm planning to build the full A32NX or A320 Neo cockpit, full cockpit later on. By then probably I program the whole cockpit, to simulate the 2-seater whatever. At this moment I can play by myself, and then I can manipulate the simulator using this panel directly. Okay, so that's it. So I've programmed these panels from this one, manipulating this number using Spadnext. Okay, so I'm going to stop here, and then we continue with other panels, which is probably have more difficult setting, because I try to do some trial and error using this function, data monitor, event monitor, so you can try to find out which data they're actually playing. So it's very important, these 2 features. I found a lot of setting. For example, the wiper setting in A32NX, I found it, but still not function well because it's very hidden in the inside the program. But managed to, for example, let me show you. So I didn't touch this one. So if I switch it on, oops, sorry. I didn't switch on the, I think it doesn't work in the off position, right? Yeah, I need some electrical protections, I guess. But I can, so you can see here, the switch is because I'm not using my mouse. So I managed to activate the wiper at least basically from the, so this one is using the mouse, you can see, but this one is using the switch from my overhead panel. Okay, so I managed to find that one. What else? And there's a lot of things like this transponder I managed to key in later on. If you could see here, I can clear it out, and 1 2 3 4 5 without a mouse. So let me put the mouse here and I can clear it out. 8 5 6 6. Oh, sorry, no more, not more than 7, right? Okay, so that's how I program the transponder. Anyway, I'm gonna show you the program later on, but at this video I'm gonna finish here, and that's a simple FCU. Usually FCU is the most panel that's being used during the flight anyway. So if you want to prioritize FCU and EFIS, is worthwhile, because you can change some of the function here, the radio, the range here, very easy, and even the FD, LS, and constraint you can, and then of course the QNH. Okay, I haven't found this setting for this ISIS, but something that I need to find later on. Okay, that's it, and hope that is useful, and hope you get some idea on how you translate your controller into FS 2020, especially A32NX fly-by-wire sim. Okay, see you later.